We were talking about, briefly, we were talking about this, that it seems like there's a common denominator for every millionaire or successful person that we know, that they always had something dark happen or multiple dark things happen. And something that drives them, whether it's the greatest athletes in the world, the biggest, billionaires in the world, there was something that defined them early on, or some things that defined them. I'm curious, what were the 3 moments when you were a kid that really defined you to be this driven, hungry person, to originally just make sure that money wasn't an issue.
Yeah, really great question.
And want to continue to grow and reach $1 billion in sales in all your businesses and impact the world, because that doesn't happen just if you have a happy, normal life. Yeah. In my opinion.
And you know what? A really great question, Louis. And here's what happens over time. Some of that goes away and you craft a new story.
Of course.
I did it because I wanted to change the world. I'd lie if I said that was true.
But there's usually some defining moments that usually happen when you're 5, 10, 7, whatever.
I know some of them. One is my mom did work. This sounds like an infomercial story. My mom worked 3 jobs. Mm-hmm. She was a hairstylist. She cleaned houses and then cleaned up after a painter, right? And she did those 3 jobs. And I asked her to this day, she made about $90 a week. Because she barely got out of high school. She had dyslexia that wasn't diagnosed. My mom's a beautiful woman inside and out, unbelievably gorgeous, heart, soul, all of it. But she always felt dumb. Like she failed every grade. She quit school in the 11th grade because she was so embarrassed to go. And so she kept that stigma inside. And I remember being really young and watching her come home from work tired as hell at 7 o'clock. My parents split when I was 3. So we were living in a trailer park. My fiance's here. I took her to the trailer park that I was living in, and we'd come home latchkey kids when we were like 6 and 8. Because my grandma would come along. My grandmother was amazing, so she was there a lot too. So we weren't.
So you were just with your mom. Dad, was your dad in the picture?
Every other weekend.
Okay, you saw him, but it wasn't.
Saw him. Yeah. And just watching her, I can remember, Luce. I don't want to exaggerate, but I moved in with my dad when I was 12. I think I look back at that. I was like 7 or 8, and I remember saying, "There's no way I'm letting this happen to my mom. I am doing this."
Wow.
My mom was my original, I'm taking care of her. There's no way I'm letting her work this hard. And it broke my heart. Like, if I look back, my heart was broken all the time watching her come home, and she wouldn't complain, but she was just tired, So I remember thinking, I'm getting wealthy to solve that problem. I mean, young.
At 7, 8, 9
7, 8 years old. I mean, I had an Uncle Larry who was very, he went to college. His kids went to college, and I just didn't. I mean, from 9 years old, 10 years old, that's just the path I chose. I knew I wasn't going to college. I didn't think I was that smart. My family didn't have money. I'm like, I'm going. I just wanted money out of the way. Like, it wasn't like today's world has changed a little bit with social media, right? There was no such thing as the internet when I was that age, right? This is 40-something years ago, right? And I think money has gotten a bad rep a little bit more because I didn't have guys,
photos
flashing
of
the money.
everything.
Yeah, like driving the Lambo or in the private jet, or the look at me and the Rolexes, so the champagne pop in the nightclubs. I didn't even know that world existed, Louis. We didn't have money. I lived in a blue collar town. Nobody I knew had money, so it wasn't like I was saying I'm getting rich because I want to roll.
You just wanted to help your mom stop suffering.
I wanted my mom not suffer. And man, that's him. And the one thing I love telling people, and again, you may have heard this, but maybe today is the first time you actually hear it. It's okay to be in pain over something. Just don't ignore it.